Howdy everyone, it is your boy Rick. I am back with another video. I'm going to be talking about movies in this video. I got my monitor lighting set up. I'm just ready to go. So if seeing someone talk about movies is not your thing, make sure you just watch the video anyway, like in the background, so I can get a additional view and that good watch time, and like the video while you're at it, because I mean, if you like the video, then you will get free pussy. Pussy is just gonna fall into your lap as soon as you like the video. I got something set up. I'm just gonna send something right there. So yeah, I mean, it's just in your interest to like the video. If pussy's not your thing, then you can get free pizza or ice cream or something like that. I mean, I got it set up to where like you'll be compensated for that like on the video. But yeah, I'm going to be talking about movies. I'm going to be talking about what I watched this past month. I reckon that like the best way to start uploading again, to like become a YouTuber again, is to start immediately beefing with another YouTuber. So I'll give it a try. There's this guy named Karsten. He basically what he does is he steals my content. He does this thing where he talks about every movie he watched in the past month, and that's literally what I do. You know, and he just does it acting like I don't do it, acting like I haven't been doing this shit for years. He is he's a plagiarist, he's a copycat, he's an incel, he is probably into a bunch of weird shit. Probably. I don't know. I mean, if you copy people's videos, what else are you gonna do? Yeah, try to watch him not respond. Watch him not even respond to me, because he's like a pussy and a copycat and a thief, and he steals content and all that. You know, it's very unsurprising. It's the most unsurprising shit ever. I mean, it's in his nature to do that, honestly. Anyway, I watched John Wick. John Wick was sick. I liked it. All of them. The action was psycho, and it just got better with each movie. I do have issues with it, though. I did not like the antagonists. I thought they were pretty boring. I was so unintimidated by them. It's crazy. And some parts of the saga dragged for me a bit. But then the third had the best opening with him, like after him getting canceled or whatever at the hotel, everyone in the city trying to kill him. That was like probably my favorite part in the whole series. I love how he just kept getting deeper and deeper into shit as the movies went on. They were fun, but the acting.
I want to kill him. What about you, Mr. Wick?
I'm going to kill you.
Anyway, the action is beautiful. It is fucking awesome. I mean, 1 through 3 are cool, but 4 is easily the best one. I have pretty big problems with 4, but I don't want to get into them because then that would spoil the whole thing. Plus, the action is just too nut for me to give it anything less than 6 stars. I mean, you got the rainy nightclub scene, which was the best sequence I've seen in the entire franchise. Then the roundabout sequence, and that was the best sequence I've seen in the entire franchise. And then like 2 minutes later, there's this scene where they're in this old building where you have this long shot, no cuts of this bird's eye view of John Wick just like going in different rooms, just laying out like 20 people trying to kill him. It's the best action I've probably ever seen. And then the stairs. And then the stairs happened. That made everything I've seen before look like Samurai Cop. Look, I'm not big into action movies, and I do have problems with John Wick 4. But here's the thing. John Wick 4 has the best action I've ever seen in a movie of all time, at least since A Trip to the Moon. And I'm not going to be soy and bring up the problems I have with it, because when you enjoy something this much, issues are irrelevant. I am going to rate and rank all of the John Wick movies right here. This was a banger. It was a great directorial debut, and I forgot that Rocky wasn't even in it. He really didn't need to be. And Diamond Dame is probably my favorite antagonist in all Rocky and Creed movies. The chip on his shoulder is completely justified. I mean, here you have this guy wasting away the best years of his life while he sees his friend, the friend he's in prison for. He sees him free, living the life that was for him. Jonathan Majors portrayed him perfectly and stole each scene he was in. And no, I'm not just saying that because I'm worried that he's going to assault me if I don't. He just did a really good job, and it's a shame that his career is just as promising as Kevin Spacey's at this point, but it's what he gets. Anyway, I don't really like how the motivations for the fight came about. Without spoiling anything, I thought it was just forced and unnecessary. But God, that final fight was perfect. I don't want to give anything away, but that fight looked different from anything in any other boxing movie. The editing and directing was elite. It didn't over-rely on slow motion shots or super epic, loud ass music. It was perfect. Michael B. Jordan, he can make a movie. I have so much to say about this movie, but I'm going to try to keep it short. I love this. It's probably my favorite thing I've seen this month. Recency bias or not, it's in my top 25 of all time, and anyone that's seen this movie can understand. It's the psychological thriller / horror / mystery anime film from the 90s. It's about this pop singer named Mima who quits music, leaves her group, and tries to become an actress. While she's trying to redefine herself and change her persona, she has this psycho fan that just is not letting her. So he starts stalking her, and yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave this plot-wise. It gets pretty damn dark. Some parts are just terrifying. You don't know what's real or a dream or a hallucination, and neither does Mima. It's a sick slipping from sanity film, one of the best ones to ever do it. It takes so many turns that you don't know where it's going to go until it ends. Then you're just stuck there, asking yourself, did I just go insane? Do I need to go to therapy now? And about 100 other thoughts, but you can't concentrate on any of them. So it's like you're thinking nothing and have an empty ass head. Few things have left me like that, but Perfect Blue definitely did. I walked out this theater with this guy and I asked him what the fuck I just watched, but it was his first viewing of it too, so he didn't know. And we were both unable to talk about the movie, so we just walked silently, and it was a pretty long walk to our cars and then drove home. Make sure you watch Perfect Blue. Like now. Well, after this video, but definitely make sure it's the next movie you watch. This was Paul Thomas Anderson's directorial debut, and it wasn't a bad start to his career. I mean, it's no Boogie Nights. It ain't There Will Be Blood, and I haven't seen Magnolia, but it's probably not no Magnolia either. But it ain't bad. It just didn't blow me away. The cast is great, though. You got this old guy, Philip Baker Hall, playing this old guy named Sidney, and my God, he puts his whole pussy into this performance. Gwyneth Paltrow, Samuel Jackson, and John C. Reilly were good, but this man, Sidney, he's just the best part of the movie. He steals everything. It's basically about this old guy teaching this younger guy how to make money in Vegas. And then there's this girl, and then there's a drug dealer or something, and yeah, that's about it. I love the casino sequence at the beginning. Then it took a sharp turn and lost me a little. The plot was a little too simple and the writing was whatever. But the shots and the acting made up for it. Overall, it's pretty damn good. It's got the chill weed vibe. And that last shot. I mean, close your eyes if you don't want to get spoiled. It's nothing crazy, but it's just so good. I do not like rom-coms at all. Given the opportunity, I like to stay away from rom-coms. Why? Obvious reasons. But Rye Lane was special. This is Rain Allen Miller's directorial debut, and she flexed hard. The style is so unique and creative, it's impossible to get bored. The lighting, color scheme was immaculate in every single scene. As far as cute British movies that make you feel good go, it's peak. It's less than 90 minutes long, and it was just as long as it needed to be. Nothing needed to be added, nothing needed to be taken out. The two leads had great chemistry. Seeing them slowly fall in love throughout the movie was cool to see, and it made me a little less bitter about the subject. Rye Lane, it's a must-see, even if you're the most unlovable piece of shit ever. It's on Hulu. If you like chairs, this is your movie. It's cinema. It's like Joker 2019, but for chairs. And also, it's like Attack on Titan, since it's like an anime, you know, but for chairs. And it also kind of reminds me of Star Wars: The Last Jedi, but for chairs and people who really like chairs. you got, if you've ever sat on a chair, liked a chair at all, this is your thing. There is a chair in this movie, and all I'm gonna say is the first scene when it showed up was the funniest thing I've ever seen in a movie. Suzume is about this girl who meets this guy, and they go around Japan stopping natural disasters from happening and fighting this supernatural thing. And there's this annoying dickhead cat that keeps fucking with them. It's a coming-of-age adventure that goes places you won't expect. It's thrilling, tear-jerking, sweet, everything an adventure should be. Also, the animation, I don't even need to mention. It's hard. I mean, look at the shot of her riding her bike. It does not need to be this beautiful. Suzume is the shit. It's pretty cool, I guess. I mean, it's not in English, so I think that's kind of soy, but I understand why people put it really high on the all-time list of all time. It's one of those you don't know what's real and what's not real movies, and it's the first one ever like that. That's a complete lie, by the way. I just made that up. But it's one of those movies. Honestly, it's one of the movies where you don't know what the fuck it is you just watched. And then Letterboxd people would just boil it down to, ooh woo, they're lesbians. You've got this nurse taking care of this actress who's voluntarily mute. The nurse's job is to make this actress normal again, but they just get weird. And then the movie's them being weird. I mean, that's an oversimplification, but I mean, I liked it. I love a good movie where a girl just goes crazy, and that's kind of the movie. The shots in this were unreal, especially the ones with both the ladies. Like that scene where she came into the room looking like a ghost and you didn't know what she was about to do. And then the shot of both of them in the mirror. It's gorgeous stuff. The editing sequence at the beginning was sick, but I thought it was kind of pretentious and unnecessary. I get what it's supposed to mean, or at least I have my idea of what it means. It's purposefully ambiguous so everyone sees something different. But I just don't think it contributed to the story, like in any meaningful way. It just came off as the director flexing some great editing for no reason. At least that's what I thought. It didn't annoy me that much. It was pretty cool, I guess. Wow, this was a masterpiece. This movie, it's so good because it's boring on purpose. Yeah, that 5 stars. Look. Call me an incel, but I hated this movie to death. It was the most fuck this movie. Oh no, you don't get it. No, look, I get it. And we need to stop impulsively telling people that they just don't get it when they don't like things that we like. That's infinitely bitch made. I understand this movie and what it's trying to do. It's about the greatness of the mother, how they sacrifice their life to these chores and this undignified work to provide for their kids and to put food on the table. How they never get recognized for their worth or their importance, yet they march on to give their kids the best life possible. At least that's what I thought. That's what I took away from it. But it is boring. But it is boring. But it being boring is like the whole point of the movie. Well, the point sucks. Just because it's purposefully boring doesn't make it profound all of a sudden. It's fucking boring. You could have made the same movie with the same themes without making this garbage. It's an insult to the audience and it's anti-film. Everything that makes a movie is just not here. This thing is just empty. There is no reason to waste 3.5 hours of the audience time. And there's plenty of movies that do that, but this is the only one I've seen that does it on purpose. And that sucks. If you liked it, if it worked for you, if you get it, that's cool and all. I can understand why someone would like it. This person in this comment section makes perfect sense. But calling it the greatest film of all time,
What a sick joke!
Honestly, the things people say about this movie are worse than the movie itself. The meat riders for this film are just unbearable. Here, let's take a look at the least unhinged one. Without this, you don't get Lady Bird, The Florida Project, Parasite, the Fly episode from Breaking Bad. This is psycho unhinged. This is shit that you would see on InfoWars. And then they go, and then there's no explanation, just more weird praise. And then they finish it off by calling the way she moves her hands so much to unpack. Most of the praise of this film you can give to like a 3-hour long ASMR video on housework. I did like the ending though. I won't spoil it, but I thought that was cool. Also, I like this shot of her sitting alone. It's like she's waiting for someone to come save her. And then the next day, someone is in her spot, so she moved, but the frame did not. I thought that was mildly interesting, but that did not carry the movie and make the length worth it. This film is so ass, it's crazy. After watching Jeanne Dielman, I know that's not how it's said. I don't know how it's said, so I apologize for that. That's very embarrassing, and I'm ashamed of myself. But after watching that movie, I had to find the best thing I could. And if beef sucked, I would have given up on watching anything ever again. Thank God it was amazing. It's the best thing I've seen released in 2023 so far. Every single joke landed. Every time something was supposed to be funny, it was. Steven Yeun has not peaked and will not peak. Ali Wong ate a whole buffet, multiple dishes. They actually ran out of food. No crumbs, but that goes without saying. Hopefully she keeps acting and this wasn't just a one-off to prove to people that she can act. Steven and Ali had great chemistry. They didn't share much screen time. Most of the time, the show followed their own lives falling apart, but whenever they crossed paths, it was the most entertaining moments of the show. The characters were great, you cared for them, even the side characters like the mother-in-law. She doesn't get a spotlight episode or anything, but there's a scene where she's eating lunch alone and it makes you feel for her. It's simple, but it adds just enough characterization to make her more than just the annoying mother-in-law. But that's just one example of the little things that Beef does so well. That's why this works so well as a limited series. This wouldn't have worked as a movie. I thought the pacing was perfect. I'm just worried that Netflix is going to milk it into this horse like they did with You, like they did with probably will with Squid Game and a bunch of other shows. And if Squid Game Season 2 is good, then I'll happily, gratefully be wrong. But I just don't want any more beef. It was perfect. It ended perfectly. There's no more story to tell. Just leave it. This was alright. It was fun. It was Indiana Jones. It was the first time I've watched any Indiana Jones movie. I probably did too late. If I watched it when I was younger with my dad or something, I'm sure I would have liked it a lot more. But it's about what I expected. I mean, what else am I supposed to say? It's a sick Spielberg action movie. Nazis are the villains. That's cool. Hopefully that doesn't trigger any of you Nazi snowflakes out there. It was good, and I'll get to all the other ones someday. A lot of movies in this video have been about the ladies going crazy. So now it's time for one of the boys too. What this movie does so well is it gives the audience the same perspective as the main character. We only know as much about the island, the asylum, the sketchy overseers as Leo does. He's trying to find this patient who escaped, but the plot thickens real quick. The island has secrets. It's dark. Something's up. Leo and his partner are stuck on the island, but they can't escape. They have to find out what's really going on. It's an island for violent, insane criminals several miles from land, but the prisoners aren't scaring the hoes nearly as much as the guards.
If I was to sink my teeth into your eye right now, would you be able to stop me before I blinded you?
Shutter Island kept me at the edge of my seat the whole movie. And it just kept getting crazier and crazier. It's sick. Watch it, obviously. There's this quote that really stuck with me. It's really sick.
Tron är ett svårt lidande, vet du det? Det är som att älska någon som finns där ute i mörkret, men som aldrig visar sig hur man än ropar.
He says it during this picnic, this beautiful picnic. The weather is nice, there's a breeze. He's with these friends he just made. The strawberries taste divine. And he says something like, "This is a nice moment. I'm going to try to remember this moment in all of its beauty." And I don't know why that stuck with me so much, why I liked it that much. Maybe it's just because life is like filled with really nice moments like that, and they make you feel good. And then every time you remember those moments, they won't make you feel as good as when it happened, but it'll, what am I trying to say? It'll make you feel good enough to get through like whatever shit you're going through to get to that next nice moment. And our boy here is going through it. There is plague, death, public beatings, heartbreak, and he literally has death playing with him. Just to be specific, he knows he won't beat him, tries to put it off. He tries to knock over the pieces, but death knows where everything is. The Seventh Seal is a banger. It's my favorite movie about death. No matter how much you try to put it off or run away, you can't beat death. You're going to die someday. You don't know when. So what are you going to do about it? I watched this one with my mom. We went and saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, a showing for it that was still in theaters. And shout out to Alpha Gong Gong and Big Nose. Preview for this came on, and she said, we gotta see the Nike movie. And then the following week she kept going, I want to see the Nike movie. And then I finally took her to it, and I'm glad we saw it. Air is like Joker, but for shoe companies trying to make a deal. The opening sequence of Air was my shit. I'm a whore for that song. The rest of the movie's good too. I loved how Jordan wasn't even in it, really. You couldn't even see him. There's no actor for him. It's because we all know who he is. But the people involved in that deal, making the icon, had the spotlight. It was good. You gotta go see the Nike movie. This might have been the funnest experience I've had in the movies other than the chair scene in Suzume. It's one of them reality bending movies where you don't know what's happening, and I liked it. I had a good time, but I hated the ending, and when I don't like the ending to something, maximum it's getting 3.5 stars. Joaquin Phoenix gives maybe the best performance of his entire career. I'm not sure. This was an insanely ambitious movie, and I respect the hell out of Ari Aster for making it. It's what he dreamed of making. He had full creative control and a big budget, and being able to make that is the biggest accomplishment you can get in Hollywood. It's almost 3 hours long, but it doesn't really feel like it. It made me laugh, shit myself, and I almost cried. It makes you feel everything. It's one of the funnest experiences I've had in the theater. It would have been funner if the guy I turned to after the movie ended laughed when I said, Joker 2 is pretty weird. It sucks seeing Robin Williams play a bad guy. He ate, I guess, but I wish they got another actor. This is in the back half of Nolan films for sure. It has a predictable plot and lazy dialogue.
What has 2 thumbs and loves blowjobs?
I don't know.
This guy.
But it's still an exciting thriller. I mean, it was entertaining to see Pacino go through the Russian sleep experiment and try to catch his killer at the same time. It's a pretty solid crime movie from the 2000s. I got what I wanted. This is the happiest movie I've ever seen. I do not like musicals. I'm not a musical guy. But this was beautiful. I was smiling the entire movie. All the praise this film gets is completely deserved. Don Lockwood is one of the sickest names in fiction, and he has the best coat I've ever seen in my life. If anyone can find a link for this, please hit me up. And that ending shot made me start clapping. I mean, who does that? What kind of loser watches a movie in their room by themselves and then starts clapping when it's over? He rhymes with click. For some reason, Us was really high on my all-time list. I think it's because I loved Get Out so much and wanted Peele to do even better, and I watched it originally in theaters in high school at a very impressionable and reactionary age, and loved it. So that meant it was better than Get Out and one of the best movies of all time. After rewatching it, I can say it's not, and I was on bath salts, but I still really liked it. It has one of the most unique horror concepts I've ever seen that was actually pulled off pretty well. The lead actress was phenomenal. She should have gotten an Oscar. I don't know who she was competing with, but I don't care. She still should have gotten an Oscar. The score was perfect. The only thing holding me back are a couple dumb horror movie decisions made by the characters, and that it didn't really scare me. The red jumpsuit people were weird and creepy, but I just really wasn't all that scared. But then again, it is a rewatch, so maybe that point doesn't matter. It's really hard to be scared of something you've already watched. But the main thing pulling for Us is the themes of class and all that shit. I'm really big on Brian Griffin liberalism, so the only activism I can really do is just praise films that tackle class. Then to top this month off, I rewatched Pulp Fiction, and that goes as it always goes. I was doing something and I threw Pulp Fiction on in the background, and I looked at the TV more and more and eventually just gave up what I was doing and rewatched Pulp Fiction. It's crazy how a movie can just be this chill and this perfect. I understand if someone would not like this movie or say it's overrated. It's certainly not Tarantino's best, but it's my shit. You can turn to any scene in it, and it's, except for this one, and it's one of the best examples of dialogue ever put to the screen. Pulp Fiction is just really cool scene after really cool scene, and if that's the entire movie, then it's going to be perfect. It's that simple. So, that is where I will end this video because I didn't watch anything else last month. If you like this video, I mean, all that shit that YouTubers say at the end of their videos, do all that. Like, subscribe, comment. Watch my other videos too, they're not that bad. I'm gonna start uploading more frequently, and I'm already laughing saying that because I've said that so many times in my life. But I'm gonna give it a go. Why not? So make sure you subscribe. And I mean, I don't know what all my other videos are gonna be. It's just gonna be stuff I find interesting, videos I want to make. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, I gotta end this shit. Bye.